Let me share something with you today. We went out of town to visit some relatives. My wife and I went to visit my sister and my sister-in-law, and they're both in declining health. They both have some health issues. And so we went to visit with them and spend some time with them. My sister was in the hospital, and my sister-in-law was at home. But as we were there and as we were visiting with them, my sister is she was able to communicate some and what have you. My sister-in-law, though, she's just very not completely responsive, but she could look at you and kind of motion and what have you. But as we were sharing and as we were talking with them, I started to think about that scripture in the book of James, where James said that life is like a vapor. It's like a vapor. It's here and then it's gone. And I know when you're young in life and you're growing up and you're younger, even in your 20s and 30s, you probably don't even think about those kind of things. And I know I certainly didn't. But the older I've gotten in life, and then after spending time talking with family and visiting with them, it causes you to, it should anyway, should cause you to stop and just take an inventory of your life. It does me. And I think about my sister and my sister-in-law, both who used to be so full of life and so full of energy. They were so vibrant. I mean, just, especially my sister-in-law, she was one that just constantly, she would cut up and just laugh and, just all the time keep you laughing, keep you on edge, basically. My sister was the same way, full of life and energy and all. And now you go see them and you sit with them and visit with them, and they're in declining health. And you remember those good times. You remember those good days. And it caused me to stop and think about, that life just goes on. It just continues. Life doesn't stop, as far as time. It just continues ticking. It continues going. And I thought about, here we are now at this stage in their lives. And it caused me to stop and think about some things that I feel that, I just wanted to share right out of my heart. And that was, whoever you are, whatever you do, and I get it. Look, life is busy. We're all busy. We all have jobs. We have things we have to do, places to be. I get that. We all do. But I fear sometimes that we get so busy that we lose that contact with loved ones and friends. And so what I would say is, whatever you do, don't get so busy with your life. Don't get so busy with your job, with your career and all those things. Don't get so busy with those things that you forget about loved ones and you forget about people. Take the time. Make the time. Maybe I should say it that way. Make the time. Deliberately, intentionally, make the time to reach out to that loved one. Reach out to that person that maybe you haven't talked to in a while, that person you haven't spoken to in a while, that person that, maybe it's a relative, a family member, or what have you, but that person that you haven't really sat down and said to them, hey, I just want you to know I love you and I appreciate you. Now, you might say, yeah, but this person did this person did that, this person hurt me. But look, let me tell you something. We've all been hurt. We've all been offended. We've all had hard times and gone through stuff in our life. And at the end of the day, stepping into eternity, you'll find that none of those things matter. When you've breathed your last breath on this earth, none of that stuff matters. I mean, man, none of that stuff matters a bit. And take the time, man. Take the time to reach out to that person, that individual, and just tell them, you know what? I want you to know that I love you and I appreciate you. You're valuable to me. Let them know that, because it's a lot like that country song, live like you were dying. Live your life like today is the last day you have on this earth. And don't wait. Don't go a day without telling that person that you're special, that you're important, and that you're loved and you're appreciated. Because I'm telling you, man, when I looked into the eyes of my sister and my sister-in-law today, I thought about, maybe family members that needed to say something to them, to tell both of them, hey, look, I love you. I made it a point that after I prayed for both of them, to let them both know, hey, listen, I love you. I want you to know that I love you. And I've always told them that, but I wanted them to know that because, look, I don't know, my phone might ring tonight or tomorrow and one of them's gone. I don't know. But my point again is, don't waste another day. Don't waste another minute, because, listen, life goes on. And I don't want you or anybody, I don't want anybody to live their life in regret, wishing that they had said something, a kind word, a loving word, a forgiving word, a thoughtful word to a person, to an individual that they had really kind of pushed off to the side. So don't waste that time. Don't waste that minute. Please don't waste that minute. Go to them. Let them know you do love them. Hey, look, I hope this has been a blessing. I hope it's helped you in some way. Maybe it's meant something to you. But I want you to know that we love you and we appreciate you taking your time to listen and tune in to our podcast here from Ricky Head Ministries and Word from the House. Until next time, God bless you.